These guys are ruining your mix. Streaky, and I can't remember this guy's fucking name, but they're both their eyes freak me the fuck out, dude. Okay, these guys are ruining your mix. Let's see it.
So this video is going to be a little mean, but every time I start to feel bad for making
it's Streaky and EDM tips. All right, let's see it.
I remember that these guys trolled an entire generation of producers, myself included.
I mean, I've seen like good and bad tips from both of them, and I feel like when your whole channel is based off giving mixing tips, like they're not all going to be gold. Some of them are going to be pretty bad, some of them are going to be pretty situational, some of them are just going to be like straight up wrong.
And I can objectively say, if I had never seen those videos, my mixes would have been a lot better a lot sooner. With that being said, I don't know these guys. I'm sure they're nice people if I sat down to get coffee with them. Do I think their content is bad? To be honest, yes. All I owe to the world is just to be honest.
Hey, it's Kevin leaving this voicemail, and I just want to let you know I dropped this song a couple weeks ago, and I'm sitting on 79 streams, even though I know in my heart it's a banger. So if
the hell is this, dude?
you'd be so kind to just stream it a few times and share it with people, that really is.
Bro, Lit Roosta, maybe one of the worst fucking names I've ever fucking seen, dude. Like, that's crazy, dude.
The best way to support this channel. And also feel free to follow me on SoundCloud and everything else.
So I figured I'd use this video as a form of self-therapy, not only just to make myself feel better with all the time I wasted, but also to warn newcomers and new producers who are going to fall for these problems, because I'm shocked at the fact that no one's talking about this. This is something that should be very much discussed. When I first saw their videos, like, I got put off by the corporate vibe a little bit.
Bro, the fucking thumbnails are freaky, dude. Like, this is actually disgusting. Well, like, what do you think when you make a thumbnail like this? Like, are you trying to scare people? Because you're fucking terrifying, dude. You look like a sleep paralysis demon. Like, is that what you're going for? What is the vibe you're going for exactly?
And once you're watching the video, there's like such little sustenance to it. It's pretty basic knowledge that you're getting. This guy posted earlier today, and the title is, I went to Ibiza to make a track for James Hype. And then you watch the video and like, James Hype doesn't know who this guy is. He literally, this guy went to Ibiza with some friends to work on a track that sounds like.
There's a lot of like insane clickbait like that. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's definitely like a level of like, okay, like trying to hype it up, making it clickable, making it an interesting thing. Ultimately, like, you just should not be lying in the title and thumbnail if possible. The whole like, I'm making a beat for X artist when you don't know the artist, I fucking hate that. Where it's like, I'm making a beat for Drake, and in reality, it's just like you're making a Drake type beat.
Like what James Hype would play and then send it and hope that like he would talk to them, which obviously by the end of the video he didn't. And then you watch the video and like at the end, it's the conclusions are they're dumb, bro. These are dumb. Like, how did you take this? If you're like a platinum artist, how are you just not getting these takeaways?
So here are the lessons I took away from this Ibiza James Hype challenge. Lesson 1. Collaboration is amazing. Working with Bramos and the rest of the guys in the villa, we made the track faster, we made better decisions, and we found the whole experience more fun and more inspiring.
I don't know, bro. Dude, he does look freaky, dude. He is freaking me the fuck out, dude. The last thing I wanted to see this guy is under some red lighting like this.
Fun and more inspiring. And that's what we're in this for, right? Music production should be fun. Lesson 2. Pressure creates progress. If we didn't have that deadline and goal, we probably wouldn't have finished the track. Lesson 3. Understand your audience. In retrospect, was James likely to play a track for the first time at his new headlining gig when it hasn't been crowd tested? Probably not.
I swear, like, this stuff is for low IQ. Like, nobody watches this. At least no one comes back for more videos if they're smart. If you want to laugh, by all means, check out their videos. Don't leave any mean comments, you know, keep that stuff to yourself. Definitely don't harass these guys. They have the right to put their content out, and it's up to the individual to say, hey, I'm above this content. I'm not going to watch this garbage. It is what it is. Let's walk through the problem.
Okay.
Much like, honestly, everyone else, I learned music production by watching YouTube tutorials and then just grinding away in my studio. I would try to make a song, ask friends why it sounds bad, watch YouTube tutorials, rinse and repeat, and after many years, I finally
ask my friends why it sounds bad.
Developed an ear to understand some of the things that I used to find like nearly mystical, like what compression.
I mean, I feel like you should know why it sounds bad more than your friends do. But, I mean, I understand getting their opinion on it.
But sounds like what it does truly when you're impacting your audio. So what do we do when we start? We look up how to produce, how to mix, how to master, and for whatever reason.
What, bro, those pop-ups there. Wait, hold on a second, bro. Excuse me? What? How to produce more breast milk? How to produce more sperm? How to produce more semen? I mean, maybe looking up how to produce is not the best way to go about this. Maybe look up how to make music or something. I don't know. Maybe get a little more specific here. I don't think it's what he looked up. I think it's just what was on Google. I don't think he's looking up how to produce more breast milk. You know what I mean?
And for whatever reason, we get hit with a ton of overly generalized statements like,
mixing tip number 17 is cut most of your instruments below 120 hertz.
cut everything under 120 hertz aside from the kick and the bass.
Well, he did say most. I will defend here. He did say most.
You hear that one all the time. It's so annoying. Sure, it's true that with a good amount of elements, you might want to do that. As
No, you definitely got to cut low end for sure.
David from
Yeah, thank you for that, Tony, bro. Salute, dude. Salute. Shout out Tony, dude.
Mixbus TV says, which I met the guy, super legit, dude. His studio's insane. It was actually really cool to get to meet.
I met Mixbus TV. He honestly freaked me the fuck out, dude. He freaked me the fuck out, dude. He seemed like a reptile. I'm gonna be honest. He seemed like a fucking reptile to me.
Him. And he's a really nice guy. He's super upfront. Like, you just energetically, when you're around him, like, you can tell he knows what he's talking about. It's very obvious. And he was the one, like, I forgot exactly what he said. He said, like, the sub frequency of sounds, especially like hi-hats or snares or whatever, that's like the balls of the sound. So if you cut that area, you might not hear it because your studio system sucks and you don't have a sub or whatever. But the people who actually enjoy music and have good sound systems or festivals, or honestly, like, I have earbuds that can replicate sub frequency.
Now, this guy's giving some bad advice here. Usually, like, for instance, you don't want to cut a lot of low frequencies in your melody content because it's going to clash with the fucking bass. You know what I mean? People don't need to hear the fucking lows of the piano when there's a fucking booming 808.
Frequencies pretty damn well. Like, technology's really grown. So they can hear, and like, you're just deciding to just throw that part of the sound out, and you don't know, maybe your track would sound better with that information. When you listen to real mixing engineers, you'll notice they're very upfront and quick to give you that disclaimer that every piece of audio is unique. You know, don't cut everything except from the kick and bass. And here's some notable examples.
Number 7, I shouldn't even have to say this one, but I'm gonna say it anyway. And if you follow the channel for a while,
I see the main thing I'm looking for is haircut advice. That's the main thing I'm looking for, is just for haircut advice. That's all I want from him. I just want a haircut tutorial. That's all I'm really interested in. I don't really give a shit about your mixing, dude.
oh, this is old news, but do not high pass and low pass everything by default. Do everything with intention and know why are you doing it. Yes, most tracks in a mix will need low cut or high cut or both. How much?
They're saying the same thing. This guy is saying the same thing as the other guy, but the only difference is he did preface it with, like, don't automatically do it. Know why you're doing it.
Much is to be established on a track by track basis, never by default, never the same number. And some tracks, you don't need that, because at the end of the day, the rule of thumb is the less processing you do, the better your mix is gonna sound.
Another one that I find
That's not always true. That's not always true.
really super annoying is cut everything under 20 hertz.
To do a low cut at 20 hertz will help you there. Also, there are some frequencies that can happen below 20 hertz that really just aren't doing anything and are, you know, even when you're playing on a massive system, they're not helping at all. So you're better off getting rid of them totally.
And they say this so that you can have a louder track, essentially. But
Yeah, that's not true, because it does change the phase. But the thing is, the higher you cut it, the less that makes, like, it will actually make it quieter. So, like, if you cut it way above 20 hertz, it's going to make it quieter.
most festival sound systems can play and imitate below 20 hertz frequencies quite well, you know, and you're doing that just to get like a little bit, you're going to squeeze a little more loudness so that, you know, YouTube can just...
Well, see, that's not even true, though. That's not even true. Like, if you're cutting at 20 hertz, it may actually be making it louder because you're changing the phase. Just by a little bit, though. Not enough to, like, make it, or, like, make a difference.
take that track and make it softer compared to the other tracks anyways, you know? Like, what's the point? You know, it's stupid. And by the way, like, a lot of people have opinions about this, you know. I'm sure I'm going to get chewed out by somebody in the comments. I wholeheartedly know you're wrong. Just letting you know before you write this. But if you want to voice your opinion, by all means, go ahead. I'll probably answer. So definitely let me know if you do agree or if you don't agree, you know. Go ahead. I'm very much a get it off your chest kind of guy. So there's a never-ending amount of dumb rules. Always leave 6 decibels of headroom, you know, when you're shipping it off to your mastering engineer, which, by the way,
That's just a rule of thumb, bro. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly 6. It's just about it having headroom. You know, it not clipping.
is a terrible way to look at music. Times have changed a lot. Mixing and mastering, when I learned what it was very quickly understood to me that it's an art form. It's by no means
Yeah, the cuts are crazy. I didn't want to say anything.
a science. You can treat it as a science and your mixes will sound as such, but the truth is, your song, if you really want it to be yours and not like you and other people's, you need to mix your own stuff, master your own stuff, and there's so much free knowledge out there. There's really no reason to like ship
That's not always the case, bro. Like, you can't expect vocalists to mix and master their own songs.
off your track to a mixing engineer or a mastering engineer. Everyone does it though. A lot of people will literally pay someone else to mix their track. Many people that are watching this are mixing engineers. I'm not saying you should lose a job. There will always be people that just want to ship it off, and that's fine. Get that bag, you know? But if you want your music to
I mean, there definitely may be something to this for electronic producers, I would say.
be really yours, then you have to make it. Pretty simple. In fact, the whole concept of mastering is not necessary. Mastering is as simple as just making it loud. You don't have to add color during your master. All the people who know what they're doing will tell you that if you want a good good master, you have to have a good mix. A good mix will make the mastering process literally just turning up the volume. And the same rule applies with mixing. If you want a good mix, your mix could be very simple if your production is right. And that kind of ties back to how if you really want to have a good master, then you have to have really solid production. And you have to do
all right, you're starting to lose me here.
all of it yourself from the very beginning. That's how to have a good mix. So this whole concept of telling beginners leave 6 decibels, it's just very generalized. It doesn't set a beginner on the path that they need to go on mentally. Beginners aren't equipped with the experience and the knowledge to know that these rules are overly generalized. So what they do and what I
Yeah, I kind of agree. Yeah, this video is a moron self-exposing whilst also calling out other morons. I mean, there's a little bit of truth to what he's saying, but then the thing is, like, the examples he's giving are not good.
used to do was just do it because someone that knows what they're saying is telling me to do it, so I'm just going to do it. And where, I'm not going to say it's a scam, but like where it's just really not a good use of people's funds is when they pay you for these kinds of lessons, they pay you to learn this kind of stuff, and you're just regurgitating slop. Like there's no art behind it, there's no realness, it's just keeping people in a circle coming back to pay you for your shitty mixing. Like it's just terrible. It's a terrible advice. It's a terrible way to get beginners on the right path. I think the most annoying one and kind of the funniest one is like the ideal mastering chain trend, I guess you could say, where these mixing or mastering engineers
Okay, I do agree with this one, actually.
will talk about like what's their like go-to chain, you know, as if every song is the exact same. Like
Well, it's not even that, but like I just don't think you need all that shit.
every song is gonna need some kind of compressor and then saturation, and oh, don't forget to do the EQ before this, but after that in the other video. Like it's just so dumb. Like they're just stroking it to their like ideal mastering chain. Like here's what I do. Like it's honestly hilarious. Let's watch a video actually, because it's just straight up comedic content. Look at this. And by the way, this video you're about to watch it's not satire. Like this guy really believes what he's about to say.
Very funny to me.
Okay, off we go. So my approach to setting up my mastering chain is exactly the way
This guy's definitely new to YouTube, other than the fact he's 1.5k subs. But like the fact he pitched up this guy's voice, like you don't need to do this, bro. It's fair use, you know?
I've always done it when I had hardware. I like to keep things in order so that it doesn't change all the time. I don't change the sound and I get a consistent finish. So if you are in the box, it's kind of the same as if you're out of the box too. And you can obviously have a mixture of the two. But that doesn't answer the question. Does EQ come first or compression? Okay, well, compressors I tend to use more for flavour. So usually the first thing I go into is something just tubey to warm things up, to get things going. Then I go into an EQ, which is going to be kind of a broad EQ to kind of flatten the sound out. Something like a back, some shape. So what I'm doing first of all is I'm getting colour, I'm getting shape into it. Once I've got that basic part done, then I'll go into a
To make them sound stupid? Yeah, maybe.
more detailed EQ to kind of do anything that needs taking out. So I'll have an EQ there. Then I'll probably go into a compressor just to kind of push it all together.
Wait, hold on. What was that fucking EQ curve there, bro?
EQ to kind of do
I mean, I'm sure this is just like a stock image of an EQ here. I don't think like this is like the EQ curve he's using. Because like if your mastering engineer is doing this, bro, he's fucking trolling you, dude. He's fucking trolling the shit out of you.
anything that needs taking out. So I'll have an EQ there. Then I'll probably go into a compressor just to kind of
Go to something else? Yeah, I don't know if I can get through this, bro. This is nuts. Okay. I agree.